SpaceClaim 2010 has made it quicker and easier to create sheet metal components. I can of course create sheet components initially, or I can start sketching right away, create the 3D geometry that I'd like to have for my sheet metal component, and then convert that to a sheet metal part. So very easily I can create a quick box, pull on edges to create rounds or chamfers, I can also copy edges to add new features to my design, and be able to quickly add geometry without spending time sketching. Now that I have the basic shape of my sheet metal part, I'd like to shell out the left wall, changing the shell thickness appropriately, and I'm ready to convert this to sheet metal. In SpaceClaim 2010, we have a dedicated sheet metal tab that allows us to select on geometry and convert it to sheet metal automatically. Choosing specific sheet metal junctions, such as a no overlap, and selecting on edges to quickly split those edges. I can also add bend junctions, selecting on specific edges to turn those to bends, or using power selection to box select my entire solid and search for hard sheet metal edges, converting those to bend junctions automatically. And so you can see now that I've created two separate sheet metal components by splitting the edges and adding bends. I can easily unfold those components as well, selecting on a face to unfold from and using Control Select to identify the top reference for that bend. I can edit these sheet metal components very easily from within the sheet metal tab, sketching new cutouts on any of the faces and using my pull tool to pull that cutout through. If I want to rearrange how these two sheet metal components are arranged, I can change any of these junctions from a split to a bend, and then use my split tool to add new splits anywhere on my sheet metal part. You can see that update there. Now in the process we created a new solid on the front, but again I can easily select on a junction, turn that to a bend, and see that that will be added to my unfolded state. Now that I have one side of my sheet metal box created, I can easily mirror that as well. Toggling back to a solid object, choosing to mirror about the center plane, and selecting both of my cells. I can now convert that back to sheet metal and be able to show my bent and unbent states side by side. Returning to the Sheet Metal tab to update the unfolded states, re-referencing new edges from horizontal reference, and seeing that update in both states. And I can unfold my bottom part as well to make sure I have the correct references selected. And it's important to remember that while I can create as many features as I'd like in the folded state, I can also create quick cutouts in the unfolded state and have those changes reflected on my folded model. SpaceClaim 2010 makes working with sheet metal components faster and easier than ever.